Hey everyone, this is Austin Bach doing a gate crash draft, and what you're looking at right now is not MTGO. Clearly, it's a website called drafts.in, which was created by a cockatrice user as just like a do-it-yourself draft, basically. And since gate crash is not legal on MTGO yet, I thought I'd do this. So next week I'll come back for the release weekend, do it on MTGO so you guys are more comfortable with what's going on. But for now, we'll just do this. So this seems like a pretty clear pick to me, which is the Truefire Paladin. There's some good cards like Biovisionary and Dinrova Horror. Obviously, Biovisionary is not as good as in draft unless you can draft like 4 or 5 of them. And Dinrova Horror I like a lot. It's basically just like a larger Void Welder that also makes them discard, which is always good. But I don't really like Dimir very much, and I've always been a fan of Boros in Limited, so we're gonna take it here. And we'll follow it up with the Homing Lightning, which is pretty good. There's a lot of cards here for us, like Martial Glory, Assault Griffin, Act of Treason. Hopefully the people to our left move into like some kind of black, blue, green strategy here. So I'm just going to continue taking all the red and white cards I can. Okay, so we could take a Signal the Clans. Oh no, that's not the card I thought it was. I thought that was the rare that searched for creatures, I thought it was the one that dealt damage equal to the number of lands. We can choose between a Night Watch and a Pit Fight. Both are fine. Pit Fight's not as great in Boros because generally you have a bunch of small creatures. But there are some tricks you can do with it. Pit Fight's always solid. Lots of options we can do with it. Alright, here I guess I'm taking a Halberdiers, however you pronounce that. There's also a Zertos Swine, which is very good. But like I said, I want to continue monopolizing all the Boros cards. There's also a Bomber Core, which is fine. But yeah, this is a very good card. Alright, we have an Aerial Maneuver, an Act of Treason, and a bunch of stuff we don't want. I'm just going to take the Act of Treason because it's a solid finisher against big creatures. Alright, so now the Boros is starting to dry up a little bit, which is a little bit worrisome. Let's scroll down here, and this is what we have so far. I'll check back with this every once in a while. We have some good early aggressive creatures, but looks like it's starting to slow down a bit, so I might want to move into a different color, possibly. And I think that Gruul matches up the best as a secondary guild to Boros, just because of all the Blood Rush. So I'll take the Spire Tracer and possibly go like a base green-red splashing white or something. So here we have a Smite, which is on color, a Ground Assault, which is off color. But I'll take the Ground Assault because it's a very solid card. Simic Charm's probably the best card in here, but obviously we're not in those colors. Nothing really good in here. I'll just take a Zerichi Tiger as a 2/3 body that'll occasionally gain us some life. Alright, so we're back to our original pack, it looks like. Biovisionary came all the way back, no surprise. Nothing really that I want here. There's a Frenzied Tilling, which isn't really that great in an aggro shell. I guess I'll just take I'll take a Naturalize for the sideboard in case I end up going green, because I don't see myself playing a 6-drop at the moment. Rustgab is probably a little better than it looks. I could go there, but I'm just going to take a Riot Gear with the hopes that I'll still be able to go Boros. Ivy Lane Denizen is still here, but it shouldn't be, because that card is ridiculous. Even though we don't really have any green creatures except the Spire Tracer, which we want to play on turn 1. It's clearly the best card in this pack. I'm not sure why it's still here. People are still new to the format, I guess. Beckon Apparition, I guess, is a sideboard card, but I'm not sure against what. The only thing I can think is Wild Rebirth, which is the green instant that returns a creature to your hand. But it seems fine, even as a body if we need it to be. Yeah, green's looking a little more open than I thought. I'll take a Croconura, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, we got some good early Boros creatures, but then the white kind of dried up pretty fast, so it's possible that the person feeding us was either Orzhov or Boros, so we might have to move into green. But we have some good options already with the Denizen, the Croconura, We just have to see what the next pack holds for us. Alright, so here's the second pack. And unfortunately, once again, the white is pretty minimal here. So I'm just going to either have to take a red card or move into green-red here, which I'm not really too keen on. I think the card that gives me the most options is the Shanktail, which is fine. It's either a 3/1 first strike for 4, which is fine, or a +3/+1 first strike combat trick, both of which would be playable. There's a Slaughterhorn as well, which is pretty strong, but we're not sure if we're in green yet. So I'm just going to take the safer pick. Best card in here is probably the Guildmage, but we're pretty far out of Simic at this point. So I'm just going to continue trying to force Boros or Gruul and just hope that these were pretty weak packs. There's a Daring Skyjet, which is a pretty strong Boros, or a pretty strong battalion creature, even though we don't really have a whole lot of battalion going on right now. I'm trying to remember. I think the person feeding us now is the guy we gave all the good, like blue and blue-green, blue-black stuff. So it's possible that green gets cut off this pack. Gruul Charm is not terrible. Probably not as a second pick card though. It's like a good 22nd, 23rd card in your deck. There's an Orzhov Charm rather. Even though we haven't taken any black cards, it might be a worthwhile splash, but we're still not sure if white is open. If I wanted to be safe, I guess I could take like the Charger in case that I do need to move into green. That's going to be a fine option. But I still feel like white's going to be flowing in this pack, so I'll take it. Ooh, and we do get rewarded. We get an Assemble the Legion. There's also a Gift of Orzhova, but Assemble the Legion is an awesome rare. There's also some really good cards in here, like Bomber Core, another Daring Skyjet, Madcap Skills, which is, in my opinion, first pickable, but unfortunately not over Assemble the Legion, because this card is bonkers. If they can't deal with it, not many cards can. Alright, here's another Madcap Skills, which I'm definitely taking here, even though there's another Halberdiers that I want to take. Basilica Guards is too slow, and it doesn't do much against Madcap Skills, in fact. Murder Investigation is not as strong as I thought it was. You basically need another card to remove it, and the 2 cards spent to kill a creature is not worth the 1/1 tokens. So yeah, we'll take a Madcap Skills here pretty easily. Skullcrack is just not a very good card and limited, unfortunately. So I guess I'm just going to take a Skinbrand Goblin as another body plus combat trick. Yeah, this is not a good pack really for us. Don't really want any of these, so I'll just take the one that I might possibly... I'll take the Executioner Swing because I don't want to play against it. So let's see what we have so far. Our early creatures, we've got Skyjet, the Halberdiers, Skinbrand Goblin, and that's about it. So really I'm emphasizing big creatures more than anything else. I'm going to cut some of these now. Oops, didn't mean to cut that. I'll cut the green cards for now, even though I'm not sure. We only have 13 playables right now, I think, which is okay for the middle of the second pack, but we're going to look to pick up some more aggressive creatures in the second half of this pack and the beginning of the next. Alright, well, we didn't get any aggressive red and white creatures. We did get a Zertos Swine, which I could end up splashing. We have some good green splashes so far. That's one of the stronger Blood Rush creatures besides the Gore Clan Rampager, the 4-drop, the Blood Rushes for 2, which is quite strong, possibly constructed playable. But this is definitely the second best, even better than the Rubble Hulk, which was underwhelming at the pre-release, I learned. And again, nothing really exciting. I guess I'll take a Millennial Gargoyle, just in case we end up with a lack of creatures, even though I really don't like the card. Man, Signal of Clans is just not very popular today, is it? I really don't want to play with it. I guess I'll take a Slaughterhorn, because again, if things don't end up going our way and we have to go green, we want to keep our options open. Burst of Strength is a fine combat trick. Ooh, and a Massive Raid came all the way back to us. Seems fine, but if we're going to use it, we're going to need to get a larger number of small creatures, because currently we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish creatures in the early game, which is certainly not enough for Boros. So we're going to have to get a little bit lucky here. Alright, I guess I'll take a Nov Squad Commandos. I mean, it's a creature, so I can't complain. Even though it's not the most aggressive I would have liked. Daft of Snapjaw is fine, I guess, but I'll take the Disciple in case I have to go green-red aggro. But, yep, that was the first 2 packs, and hopefully the third one looks a little bit better.